So hello beautiful awesome professionals, my name is Fanil Patel. You are listening to the Digital Fanil Show. In this quick episode we will discuss the 4 physiological habits of highly self-aware people. Want to be more self-aware? Start building these habits. Okay, here's the things. Self-awareness isn't something you are born into. Okay, it's something you build through practice. Okay, and the best way to practice being more self-aware is to build habits that encourage it. Okay, here are 4 habits of highly self-aware people that you can use to become more self-aware yourself. Okay, first is they are curious about their own mind. Self-aware people are curious about their own minds and how they work. They frequently think about their thoughts and thinking patterns. Okay, technically this is called metacognition. Okay, it means you are aware of the fact that you are thinking things. Okay, and able to access the quality and usefulness of that thinking. For example, people often say things like, I just got so worried and I couldn't stop thinking of the bad things. Okay, that might happen, and before I knew it I was in the middle of panic attack. Okay, in reality worry is something you do, not something that happens to you. It's habitual pattern of thinking that leads to to stress. Okay, but without the habit of thinking about your thinking, it feels like something that just happened to you. On the other hand, if you are in the habit of thinking about your thinking, you notice that worry is actually an activity and something you do, and as a result, as a something you can with practice. Okay, not to do, or at least not to nearly so much of. Who looks outside dream. Okay, who looks inside awakes. Okay, and second is they take feedback seriously. Okay, genuinely self-aware people to have the humility to understand that they can't always see themselves objectively, and they know that often the best way to be more objective about yourself is through the lens of other people. Okay, the trick here is that there is no trick. If you want to see yourself through other people's eyes, you must ask. It's that simple. Okay, do you frequently get into conflict at work? Okay, identify a co-worker whom you respect and ask for their honest opinion about the situation. Does your spouse keep telling you that you don't listen? Okay, ask some else in your life you are close to, whatever you can come across as not listening well. Okay, or maybe the situation is more general. Maybe you just feel a little dissatisfied with your life and suspect that is it has something to do with you, but you can't put your finger on it. Okay, look for someone in your life who knows you well and ask them if they see any patterns that could be caused. Okay, what gets in the way of most of us asking for feedback is that we are afraid of getting bad news. Okay, the most direct way through this fear to ask yourself, okay, would I rather have a small but intense blast of criticism now, or years and decades of nagging self-doubt and understand criticism that comes from avoiding facing my shortcomings. Okay, one of the best way to improve your self-awareness is to get objective feedback from other people. Okay, but in order to do this, you must be willing to tolerate the discomfort receiving criticism, or work to avoid defensiveness at all the cost. Okay, you cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. Okay, third is they listened a lot more than they talk. Okay, when it comes to self-awareness, you can't think your way into it. Of course, there's nothing wrong with deliberate self-reflection. In fact, it probably with facilitated self-awareness to a degree, but it won't be for building self-awareness, because we are socially creatures who learn primarily through each other. Okay, from babbling out our first words as toddlers to graduating from college most of us learning happens socially, okay. Toddlers like their parents just as to like students, okay, imitate their mentors and advisors, okay. The quest for self knowledge is like fundamentally social awareness, okay, and social endeavor, okay. But simple being around other people won't do the trick, okay. True self awareness comes from genuine interaction, okay, with other people, from conversation, okay. But to get there you need to be able to listen, to really listen, okay. The key to gaining meaningfulness and self-awareness through listening is to manage your own thought during a conversation, okay. It's hard to truly listen when you are formulating your own ideas and only halfway paying attention to theirs, okay. Which means building the habit of being a good listener is mostly about learning to undo unhelpful habits, okay. Practice letting go of your own impulses and cultivating curiosity instead, okay. And bending your attention, you are more likely to stumble on something useful about yourself. There's a lot of difference between listening and hearing, okay. Next and last and four is that they don't judge themselves for how they feel, okay. It always surprises me how judgmental people are with themselves, especially for something they have no direct control over, okay, their emotion. It doesn't make any sense to pass moral judgment on something you can't control. This is why in the legal system no one gets sent to a prison for feeling really, okay, angry. You only get convicted and punished if you act on that feeling in a way that harms other, okay. You can't control your emotion, only your action. So we all know intellectually that judging ourselves for how we feel doesn't make any of sense, okay. And yet we still do it constantly, okay. We all ourselves, we are bad for feeling angry. We criticize ourselves for feeling instead of confidence, okay. We judge ourselves as weak because we feel sad and hopeless instead of optimistic, okay. You wouldn't judge other people for having brown hair, green eyes, or an father, because none of those things are under their control, okay. So why are you judging yourself for how you feel when it's not something you can control? But being judgmental of your own emotion doesn't just not make sense, okay. It's your self-awareness, okay. If you are constantly judging your emotion, you won't have any energy left to understand them. The solution is to learn to observe your emotion and notice them without passing judgmental on them, okay. And the best way to get started with this is to practice labeling your emotion with simple plain language, okay. Anytime you feel upset, instead of avoiding the feeling or glossing over it with a vague or language like I am stressed, I am overwhelmed, try describing how you feel like a childhood. I am angry, I feel afraid, I am sad, I feel quality, I am lonely, I feel proud of myself. When you get in the habit of describing your emotion in plain ordinary language rather than intellectualizing them, you will find that you have a clearer insight into those emotions and how to respond to them in a healthy way, okay. Words matter, and the words that matter most are the ones you say to yourself, okay. All you need to know, if you want to be more self-aware, build the habits like that, foster it, get curious about your own mind, take feedback seriously, listen more, talk less, stop judging yourself for how you feel, okay. Thank you for watching this video.